Welcome to your magic moon message. Whew. It's hot in the mug out here, y'all. Whew. But we out here. We out here. The moon is in Capricorn. The sun is in Gemini. Just a friendly reminder, people from the outside looking in can look at what they think you're doing. Whether they know what you're doing is a whole nother matter entirely. And believe what that's supposed to look like, but they're not really going to know the day-to-day, moment-to-moment development you're going through, how everything that you're doing culminates cumulatively and adds and builds. So just a friendly reminder, if you get way too distracted on external expectations outside of you from the outside looking in, and you're giving too much attention to what people who easily, you can easily judge and see that they know very little about what you're doing or why you're doing it. Yeah, you could lose so much sight of focus around what you're actually doing. It's something that's obvious, but it's very easy to give attention to people who put bass in their voice and conviction behind saying the most meaningless things ever. It's something that I think many are gifted at doing, just saying a whole lot of nothing. But that being said, I mean, I got a Gemini. I love to say stuff just to say stuff, but I do it in a goofy way. I don't always put conviction behind bullshit. That being said, be very mindful, especially as you are harvesting and breaking through this development of your mindset and attitude. This will eventually become a new behavioral pattern during our yearly software update or hardware update of our habits through Virgo season that this year is sponsoring the South Node. Okay. So it's like every Virgo season, we create new behavioral patterns, but with the South Node here this year, it's like a special event. Imagine now there's a special event linked with this, like an Olympic Games. I'm not using the Olympics example, but just to give you an idea. We're in the checkpoint between Pisces and Virgo, imagination and habits, belief and habits, imagination and analysis through thinking, experimenting, okay? And now that we are harvesting the previous new moon in Gemini, the moon in Capricorn is making a 210-degree Scorpio signature angle. That is a transformative angle. This transformative angle, of course, puts you in a position to very realistically tap into the active transformation of your mindset. So, what about Capricorn, or how does Capricorn transform Gemini? All right. Gemini is the mutable idea, the wind that blows each way, and the flow state of your thoughts that enable you to generate ideas. But Capricorn is decision making. That already gives you an idea of the quincunx nature of this. One is mutable, changeable, the other is direction. This is why in the rock, paper, scissors, fixed signs trump cardinal signs, just like rock is going to trump scissors. Cardinal of scissors is going to trump paper of the mutable, and then the mutable paper is going to cover rock of the fixed. So I'll go more into lessons going into the rock, paper, scissor dynamics. It's a major reason why Kendrick Lamar, outside of his soul being in Pisces, outclassing Drake's Cancer moon, beat Drake so bad because he won the rock, paper, scissors dynamics. Fixed signs like Scorpio are always going to bring the energy, but the mutable sign will always change your perspective around that energy. And that's what gives mutable signs the advantage over fixed signs. But what gives cardinal signs the advantage over mutable signs is, yeah, you might change the perspective, but the cardinal sign can direct it into a new direction and completely almost annul what perspective was created. All right, just like and then just like fixed signs could be the strength to eclipse cardinal signs. So basically, Gemini is me thinking, I want to do this, I want to do that. And then we know that Sagittarius is the opposite of Gemini, where we're defining what the word is in Gemini. Sagittarius shows you what that word means in the dictionary. The word, the meaning, Gem is the word, Sag is the meaning. So after now we have harvested this visual shift in how we are aligning the meaning of our mindset into what we're seeing, this is the quincunx transformative quality of Gemini. I think I want to do this. I think I want to go to the store. No, I also think I want to go to the beach. I also think I can go to Albertsons, but then I can also go all the way downtown. However, Capricorn is a decision, decide. Side is a root word that culminates with other words of death: suicide, homicide, decide, all which pretty much involve murdering something. When you make a decision, I'm deciding I'm just going to go across the street to Albertsons. Now, all those Geminian thoughts of the mutable possibilities, this is why mutable signs are perceptual and changeable. Facts of Virgo, lowercase t truth of Gemini, meaning what's true now is relative. It's true unless it's a fact that I have one finger up. Now it's true that I have two fingers up, and it's a fact I have two fingers up. The lowercase f and t are mutable, they're changeable, and so we must adjust. This is how science develops itself. We have knowledge, further research produces new information. That new information transforms what we previously knew. So the uppercase T and F is you're gonna die one day. That's not lower, that it will never change. Like, that's an absolute truth in a certain sense, right? So that being said, okay, I made the decision to go across the street. So now the other ideas of going to the beach or going to the mountains are dead. I've collapsed all of the potential of what I could do with now the decision of what I'm going to do. And now that you have seen the harvesting nature of this vision, which is at this point started to show you how you are breaking through this development of this new mindset, the moon in Capricorn is going to understand the utilization of this mindset and now transforming your attitude and directing where you take this vision. All right. So a lot of the ideas and the magic word you've been, of course, activating and integrating through the moon in Gemini to Sag or to Scorpio, now you're going to be directing and understanding the decisive power that will, once again, transform your mindset. And in transforming this, crystallizing this through the moon in Capricorn's tangible, physical, practical, organizational nature, all right, that will prepare you for the moon in Aquarius, where now we're coming into a strengthened quality after we've taken action in Capricorn to now strengthen the higher knowledge of our awareness in Gemini of what's true. That's going to be the final harvest Sagittarius signature, and we're going to be seeing the meaning of what's true. But for the air sign, we see into the meaning through knowing. So it's not a physical sight, it's knowing that enables to perceive knowing what is true. Okay, so in between that, this is that rugged, practical, transformative, gritty, aspect that I was born with. Cap Moon Gemini Sun. All right, shout out to the Cap Moon Gem Suns, like Adina. Shout out to you, Johnny Depp, Jada Kiss, Vic Mensa, all of us, really. But that being said, it puts us in a position, G-Eazy, to Andre 3000, to realistically kind of Azalea Banks. All right, I know if you're, hater or lover, it is what it is. So it definitely speaks of this control and order and timing of when and how you say what you say. Okay, which could be very lethal if you know how to push people's buttons, but can also once again add much more grounding to the nature of your thought process. I have to once again remind you, this is a Scorpio signature, so it's going to also really have you judge integrity and character relative to who you trust with certain information. As the moon will trine Uranus and Venus and Taurus, this is going to apply this organizational understanding and this understanding of utilizing this new mindset to strengthen with Venus how we're going to polish and smoothen over the grounded quality of this transformation, of this shift. Okay. And it's also going to innovate once we smoothened and polished that through the Venus trine with the Uranus trine, enabling you to unconventionally further expand, especially now that Jupiter in Cancer is opposing the moon in Capricorn, squaring Saturn and Neptune in Aries, which is a sneak peek to the moon in Aries and then the moon in Cancer. At the Capricorn side, you're getting a pre-understanding of what to begin to put in order as you are directing this shift. So it'd be interesting to see how what was in the news last week begins to now consolidate and prepare for us to step into a deeper layer of intensity over the next 30 days. What's also significant is you will also be feeling exponential growth relative to a lot of the development that happened unconsciously to you or auto-nervously is going to start to project outwards. And now here comes the main lesson of this transit. Your words now have transformative quality. And using your magic word, if any fear arises, if any worries arise, say your magic word towards it. Limitless, 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 with the intended outcome. And what you're going to find is that your attitude and your mindset, you're able to apply and break through situations by transforming it. Okay? If I know that I can't give up, I have the mindset that I'm not going to give up, and I'm in a situation now where, everything looks hopeless. Because of that mindset, I was able to escape danger and death because that mindset transformed my situation. And this is where, with the grounded, organizational, elite Capricornian understanding, you will also gain application of the moon in Virgo that helped you understand what's factual about what you're thinking so that you can apply that perspective into understanding how to use these new word magic abilities. This will also prepare for Uranus to go into Gemini, but as the moon will be squaring of course, Saturn and Neptune, at the 270th degree Capricorn signature to that Aries, will also be helping you understand what you've completed as far as the development of your belief systems and how you are having integrity in your identity and how you express your personal self in order to understand what place that has collectively and how that will shift what more you want to accomplish and what you are currently accomplishing since the past 28-day cycle. All right. I hope you enjoy this transit. Once again, this is going to prepare for the moon in Pluto on Aquarius in a couple of days or in a day and a half, which is going to intensify things very strongly, but also really facilitate much greater enlightenment, the harvest of the enlightenment that we've activated 2.5 weeks ago, and to prepare to conclude on a lot of breakthroughs intellectually that will really enhance how much more powerfully you communicate with others and how well these thoughts you're thinking align so much more success in what you can do with this mindset. And most importantly, there's going to be a tangible element of really inducing a causality relative to what you think and say and what happens, what you direct with that. And when the moon goes into Aquarius, you're going to awaken more extraordinary knowledge of what that process was, what happened, what it means for you moving forward before the moon goes into Pisces. And then you conclude this with new beliefs and reasoning, or an imaginative understanding of how you've completed the thought process. So you guys stay blessed as always. Comment down below what you're excited to transform. And if you have any experience, some people so far to a lot of people have already had experience. Shout out to Nikki D. Like the moment she even changed her magic word, she won a competition or she won something. So, this is the breakthrough period where you're going to start to experience more evidence of what you've been doing the past 2 weeks. You reap what you sow. So if you've been sowing a negative mindset, you're going to be reaping that. If you've been sowing a positive mindset, you're going to be reaping that. All right. You stay blessed as always. And until next time.